Hello, Mike.
Hello.
And hello, all, and welcome back to the Partner Technical Success Channel. In today's episode, Mike Richter, a principal cloud solutions architect on the U.S. Partner Tech team, specializing in app modernization, application innovation, will be presenting what's new and what's exciting with Azure App Service. And on that note, let's go. Mike, what's new for partners and Azure App Service?
Hey, Rich. Thanks for having me on the show. There have been several announcements in recent months that I think partners should be aware of. So I figured we'd look at those and see what's new. So as most partners should probably know by now, we've released Azure App Service Environments version 3. And that's got a completely newly redesigned networking and management layer, which removes the need for the stamp fee, which the previous versions came with. So it becomes a lot more affordable to run an app service environment and a lot easier to secure the networking for it. And as partners already know, we have a standard and premium SKU for app service. Those run on dedicated VMs, and with service endpoints and private endpoints and VNet injection, you can really control the traffic that is entering and leaving the app service. So it's becoming more of a challenge in some ways to decide, when do you actually really need an app service environment, or can you meet your security and compliance requirements with just the standard and premium tiers?
Well, here's a pretty question then, Mike. Why would someone choose the app service environment then?
I think one reason might be for scale. Right now, the premium tier can scale to 30 instances, but an app service environment can scale to 100 instances. And we just also announced that app service environment now supports both Windows and Linux containers. So you can deploy the workload directly to the app service or through a container as well.
Well, it's getting really big. What else is happening in app service?
There's a lot. App Service is probably the most mature PaaS service on Azure, but they keep on finding ways to make it better. So the new premium V3 SKU has refreshed hardware. So the prices for the tiers are a little different, but the resources are also a little different. So partners should take a look at that. The new premium SKU also comes with reserved instance pricing. So customers can get really big discounts if they make a 1-year or 3-year commitment, like VMs and SQL database. So similar idea there. And then this is not new, but I think partners should just remember that we do have dev test pricing for app service as well. So partners should definitely take advantage of that for non-production workloads that they have up in Azure. App Service also has support for shipping diagnostic logs into Log Analytics. That's now generally available. And we have a new diagnostic tools for Linux applications to help debug them, specifically around debugging new .NET Core or .NET 6 applications inside of Linux. And speaking of .NET and .NET 6, .NET 6 was supported in App Service on day one. Partners might remember that when .NET 5 came out in 2020, it took a little bit of time for App Service to support it, but I think partners and their customers can now feel confident that new .NET releases will be supported by App Service on day one as soon as they GA. And there's just a lot else going on with App Service, and a lot of things that I discovered just recently. One thing is that Azure App Service will now give you a free SSL certificate to secure your custom domains with.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah, and there are some limitations to it, but again, for dev test or smaller workloads, it's great that the platform can manage the SSL certs for you.
You know, Mike, a lot of our partners help customers migrate existing applications into Azure with tools like Azure Migrate. Is there anything new in App Service when it comes to migration?
Yeah, so partners are familiar with, they should be familiar with App Service Migration Assistant. That's a tool that in the past was able to only look at web apps running on Windows, and it would assess those apps for migration and do the migration if those apps were compatible with that service. But we've recently updated that tool to also now find Java applications running in Tomcat on Linux now. There's also an Azure Migrate App Containerization tool, which will migrate .NET Framework apps to Windows containers and Java apps to Linux containers. So again, right, when you're going to App Service, there were sometimes some incompatibilities based on what you were doing in your application. But the fact that you can deploy with containers really eliminates a lot of those potential incompatibilities. There have been some updates to Azure Migrate as well. So partners may know that Azure Migrate is a tool that they can use to assess workloads that are running on premises, and then they can come up with a plan for migrating those workloads to Azure VMs. But now Azure Migrate can assess ASP.NET apps running on IIS on-prem, and then evaluate those apps for app service. And we also have the capability to do a bulk migration of all those ASP.NET IIS websites from on-prem directly into app service. So we're just making it easier for partners to help their customers move many websites, applications into app service. And I'd say also, in addition to our own assessment and migration tools, there's a really healthy partner ecosystem around migrating workloads to Azure. So there are solutions from partners like Unify Cloud and Cast, and they will help you migrate workloads to App Service as well. And those are by no means the only options. There are many other solutions from other partners as well. But what's great about these solutions is that they will analyze the code in the applications and tell you what lines need to be changed to make sure that the application is compatible for going to App Service, and will also give you kind of a estimate of the level of effort to make those changes. So after running these partner tools, you'll be able to get a report that gives you a really good idea of what it takes to get into to get the application into App Service. And one last thing I'll mention about migrating to App Service is that App Service has what I think is a killer feature. It's called Hybrid Connection Manager. And if partners aren't familiar with that, it's a feature that runs on top of Azure Relay. And with Hybrid Connection Manager, you can have your apps in App Service easily talk to databases or services that are still on premises. And the way it works is by installing an agent somewhere on premises, and that agent only requires outbound port 443 connection, and that's usually available in most customer environments. So you can now migrate the customer's applications to App Service, even if those applications still need to talk to services that are running on premises. And you don't have to open up holes in the firewall. You don't have to create VPNs. So that's a really great feature that really accelerates migrating apps to App Service.
Now, here's a really big question, especially when we start talking about all the features with App Service. Does App Service, or by using App Services, does it lock you into using Azure?
Not really. Many applications, not really. No, it doesn't at all, I should say. Many applications just work as is when they're deployed to App Service. So you don't need to make, you may need to make some configuration changes for networking and storage, right? But you shouldn't have to build any dependencies into your application to have it run on App Service, right? There's no App Service SDK that you have to build your application on. Now, you may build some automation and management scripting around App Service, and that may not be portable. But your application itself, there's no reason why it can't remain portable. And some more news: last year, we announced a preview of Azure App Service running in Azure Arc connected Kubernetes clusters. So what that means is you could bring Azure App Service to your on-premises environments, or you could bring it to another cloud even. So not only does your application remain portable now with App Service, but the platform itself is portable. So I think what we've done with this Arc integration, we can really give our partners the ability to give their customers the confidence that moving to app service does not come with any kind of vendor lock-in costs or anything like that.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, give us some insight. Who's using app service today?
App Service is one of the most popular services on Azure. There are hundreds of thousands of customers on App Services. There's over 1 million apps hosted in App Service. There's, I think, more than 18 billion requests served by App Service every day. You can see on our customer stories page some really large, famous brands have deployed on App Service.
Like who?
Like Chipotle, Mount Sinai Health Systems, ExxonMobil. If you check out the customer stories page for App Service, could we provide a link in the notes for this video? If we could do that, you can see directly. You'll see all the customers from all different industries all over the world, especially even highly regulated industries like healthcare, education, financial services. There's also government customers deployed in production on App Service as well.
Okay. And wrapping up.
Yeah, I think that was just kind of a quick tour of what's new with App Service. There's a ton of great features we didn't talk about. I just wanted to focus on what's new. I hope our partners found it useful. Maybe they learned a thing or two they didn't know. I think App Service has been around now for almost 10 years, I think. It's been it's really a great PaaS service that offers a ton of benefits where really you can reduce the total cost of ownership of hosting applications on Azure. And you get all those benefits, but we really don't ask our partners and their customers to compromise on anything. And like I said, over 1 million customers today are using it, and App Service is still also one of the fastest growing services in Azure, despite how mature it is. So, that's it for now. I'm sure we'll have more announcements throughout 2022, so maybe we can chat again later this year and discuss them when they're out.
Well, thank you, Mike. And I want to thank all the partners out there. You are our coveted partners, and especially all the great solutions and services that you produce. And I look forward to seeing you next time here on the Partners Technical Success Channel. And we'll be back with Mike again and many others on many other subjects. And again, thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye. Okay.
Cool.